Hey family, what's going on? And welcome to another episode of Mantle Motivations podcast. It is I, as always, Dominique Bishop. I'm not gonna hold you guys long today. Um, it's funny because I'm actually getting ready to do a podcast about rest and not doing a podcast. A reason being is because I'm starting a new series and I'm really gonna go in depth about some things. And this series is gonna be like about 5 parts. So I'm working on some stuff, and I wasn't quite ready to start it today. So I thought I was like, well, man, what can I talk about? But then I said to myself, I was like, it's important to rest and it's okay to take a week off and not post anything. And sure as I start to settle in that, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna post the episode. Then I was like, well, it's also important to talk about resting and recouping and allowing yourself time to give back. Because giving and speaking, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Um, and with it, adjust this real quick. And because it takes a lot, you know, I'm gonna be honest though, me talking it's not that's not the part that takes a lot. The part that takes a lot is me doing the research for what I'm going to talk about. Um, staying on the topic, making my outlines to make sure I stay on task because sometimes I can rant and go far left on a particular subject. But to keep myself aligned and, making sure I give information to you that you all will receive. And it's things that I feel is important to know. In this new series, I'm really going to be talking about emotions. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to dive deep. The very first episode that I'm going to do, though, is going to talk about um, where our emotions come from, our feelings, where they come from, the foundation of all of that, starting from like childhood all the way up to adulthood. So I'm going to start the foundation for that. I think I'm going to start on it next week. I'm still in the middle of doing some research and getting some things together. Like I said, I want this package to be put together very well when I present it to you all. So, um, yeah, I'm taking a week off from doing a podcast, but yet I'm still doing a podcast. So, like I said, I was thinking about talking about, taking time for yourself because it is important to do that. And I have no outline for this podcast. I'm just gonna speak to you all freely. So I might get a little bit off subject, but I'm a little tired today. And the reason I'm a little tired is I went to the Cowboy Carter concert last night. I'm so happy about that. My wife surprised me with tickets, and we had a ball in Atlanta night for Cowboy Carter uh, at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We had a ball. When I tell you, I was pretty much on my feet. I was pretty much on my feet the whole time, like the 3 hours, 3.5 hours, however long it was. I wasn't even keeping track of time. I was just enjoying song after song after song, and then the interludes and the imagery and everything that she was putting up. Her visions of everything she was showing us in between songs, and then we got a surprise guest appearance by none other than Hove himself, Jay-Z. And I know night 3 they got it as well. So with being would it be a night 4? It was an add-on night because originally Cowboy Carter tour only had 3 nights in Atlanta, and then they added on night 4. So I was hoping, I was like, please, can we get a little something extra? And we did. We got Jay-Z. So that was pretty good. But yeah, the concert was amazing. And I was able to get an outfit together real quick. I'm sure if you follow me on TikTok, you saw my outfit and what I had on. I had on cowboy hat, and yeah, I did all of that. I did all of that. It was fun. It was so much fun. And my wife, she had on her cowboy get up too. So I'll post some pictures um, at a later date. But if you follow me on social media, I'm sure you've probably seen it on TikTok already. I'm gonna post some stuff on Instagram and also Facebook so you guys can see. All right. So if you follow me, you will see the pictures and some videos from the concert. All right. Back to my topic of resting and making sure that you um, give back to yourself what you give out. um it's just really important for us to not have an empty cup. So many times we don't take care of ourselves because we're so busy trying to help other people. Some people is just in their nature to want to help and be empathetic and go out their way. My wife, for example, is a very, very, very helpful person. And I'm a helpful person too, but I have certain types of boundaries with my helpfulness. Some might think that's not good. Others might think it's okay. Honestly, I don't care which way you think about it. But I feel that it's important for us to not give our last. You understand what I'm saying? Um, don't give until you don't have anything else to give, right? You give, you give, you give. That's awesome. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And give with a cheerful heart as well. Don't give some expecting something back. That's not how you give. That's like Indian giving and all that type of stuff. Don't do that. Well, that's a term that I heard growing up. Um, but when you give, let it be effortless and let it be thoughtful and let it be because it's something that you actually wanted to do, right? It's actually something that you want to do. Um, but when you give, you can't give from an empty cup. You can't give from an empty vessel. You have to be able to give yourself a break from giving. You understand what I'm saying? Um, I'm a firm believer in taking care of yourself first before you take care of other people. And not saying it in like a selfish way, but you do have to tend to yourself first. How can I get on this podcast and talk to you about certain things that I'm not applying to myself, right? Just this past Friday, I was telling my wife about the series that I was getting ready to do and about the book that I'm writing and the podcast that I just did, the last two episodes where we talked about um, taking your dreams and making them into reality. And I was just like, how is it that I'm saying certain things to people and then some of it I wasn't necessarily practicing what I was preaching. I was like, I want this to be in real time. I want to show them that what I'm talking about, the steps work, right? And there was some things that I was already working on, but it was some other areas in my life that I felt I needed to apply the same principles that I gave to you all in order for me to be more productive. So Friday night, I sat down with my wife and we got our calendars together and we planned some dates for what we have the rest of July, August, and September. And I bought us some notebooks and some pens and we're gonna continue to write down our goals and just check in with each other, weekly or check in with each other monthly to make sure that we're still on task to do what we want to do or to reach our goals. And it's also important to check in with each other because, uh, you know, we're not the same people that we were when we first met. We've been together over a decade and been married for 6.5 years now. It'll be 7 years in December. So we are definitely not the same people that we were when we first met. So goals change, ideologies change, right? Things change. So it's important, when you're in a relationship with somebody and you are connected. that you both keep checking in with each other and have these like monthly meetings or these monthly sit downs and just make sure you guys are aligned, right? Because sometimes one person might be thinking something and someone is thinking something else, or they might have different goals than what's aligned with yours. And I mean, and that's okay. It's important to be or it's important to not let go of your individuality in a relationship. Still have your own dreams and goals. But when you're in a relationship, specifically when you're married to someone, those things do combine and have a tendency to overlap. So that was what we did on Friday. Had a conversation and enjoyed one another. Um, but going back to what I was saying earlier, it's important to rebuild yourself, right? So, like I was saying, I wanted to make sure that the things that I was telling you all that I was also doing, but at the same time, I also have to make sure that I'm not giving from an empty vessel. So, I have to recenter myself and I have to check in with my own self and make sure I'm good and get some rest and rebuild myself. And a couple of things that I like to do are breathing exercises. I do have the opportunity to be home by myself with the dogs from when I get off of work until my wife sometimes get home from work. If she comes home a little later than normal, I get a little extra time, and I use that. That's my alone time to work on whatever it is. It might be my book. It might be something else creative. It might be me playing my drums. It might be just me sitting and listening to music, or it might be doing some laundry because oddly enough laundry calms me down. I actually enjoy doing laundry. So that's one way. Cleaning the house up a little bit. Um, so there are different things that I do that help me to rebuild, and I might sit down with a notepad and a pen and journal and jot down some ideas for future podcasts as well. Thinking about different things to talk to you guys about, as well as making plans to interview other people. And I actually have an interview coming up soon, and I'm excited about this interview. I've got a couple of interviews coming up that I'm very excited about. And when it comes to Mantle Motivations podcast, I'm just genuinely excited about everything because it went from me doing nothing and being extremely fearful to do this to me doing it with ease and doing it to the point where now I have to take a break. But again, oddly enough, I was going to take a break this week and this was going to be my off week. And then now I'm still filming a podcast. I can't help myself, right? So I might actually take an off week next week. Who knows? We'll see. I said I was going to start the series next week probably, but maybe I might take an off week. I don't know. We'll see. But that's a good thing about, being independent and doing my own thing. I can do it on my own terms, right? Um, and I know you all do expect the episode every Wednesday, but I do my best to keep you all informed if I'm not going to post or when I am getting ready to post, right? So, let's see. Is there anything else that I briefly want to talk about? Um, yeah, just really make sure that you are taking care of yourself. One of the best examples that I like to use when people ask about taking care of themselves first, because some people feel like it's selfish for them to take care of themselves before they take care of other people. And I said, well, think of it like this. First I ask, have you ever been on a plane? Have you ever flown into it before? If they say yes, then I can go ahead with the analogy. Um, I got a couple of them, but when you get on the plane, and the flight attendants, tell you that if anything were to happen and the air masks drop from the ceiling or from the compartments, they say before you help someone else, put the air mask on yourself, right? Because if you're in that plane and you're descending extremely fast, you might not have time to help someone put on their air mask and then you put yours on. So that's why they say you put yours on first. And whoever you're with, if they're struggling, then you help them put theirs on. Or if you have children with you, you put yours on first, then you help your children put theirs on. Because it's important to know that you're going to be the conscious one, right? You're the adult, right? You're there with your kids. You need to make sure you're the one that's conscious and aware, right? So if you put the mask on them first and then they're breathing, but then you so happen to just lose consciousness, now what? Who's taking care of your kids, right? So I like to use that example, and then I also like to use the example of this because uh, as people, we work ourselves tirelessly sometimes for these companies. These 40-hour, 50-hour, 60-hour, 70-hour a week jobs that we have. Sometimes 80 hours. I remember when I was working at the jail, I was working crazy hours. Made a lot of money, yes, but at the expense of only having maybe one off day a week. Not being able to truly enjoy the money that I was making, with the exception of the couple of vacations that we were taking a couple times a year. And I was blessed to be able to get the home that we're in now with that job. So there were some benefits to it, but at the same time, hustling, 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 and working all that overtime and stacking up all that money and not barely having any time for myself. I mean, you working 12-hour days, 16-hour days. The only opportunity you have to do is come home, take a shower, eat, go to sleep, wake up, and do it again the next day. So that's not fun. And if you're working that hard, you might need to reevaluate some things. For me, in that particular situation, excuse me, it got to be, it got to be not just spiritually bad, but physically bad, emotionally bad, and it was wearing and tearing on me, all that working I was doing, to the point where just driving up to the parking lot, as soon as I got in the parking lot, I got a headache. Right? As soon as I was enter, I mean, it never failed. As soon as I entered the parking lot, I can get in my house. I mean, I can leave the house, get in the car, turn on my music, have my devotion, be okay, be cool. But as soon as I got in that parking lot and parked my car, I got an instant headache. And I think it stemmed from me knowing the stress that I was getting ready to walk into every single day, right? Having a headache, being sickly, which is not normal for me. I have a very strong immune system, and even when I was a kid, I wasn't sickly. So, not feeling myself, always being tired, feeling fatigued, and my body running off of whatever I could get my hands on to eat, or eating at the jail, which consisted in me gaining weight, because that wasn't the healthiest food at the world to eat at the jail. um but I really had to stop, and I was like, yeah, it's getting bad. The work environment was bad. It was very toxic. And like I said, it affected me in so many different ways that it was time for me to go. I felt it all over the place. It was time for me to go. But if you getting like that, to where you feel like, I can't do this anymore, this is affecting me in so many different ways, to the point it's a detriment, that if I continue to do this or go this route, I'm going to continue to harm myself more so than be able to help others. You got to reevaluate some things and move along. You got to find a way out. You got to ask God to help you. Ask God to help you figure some things out. Ask for discernment. Um, but yeah, that's a big part of taking care of yourself as well. Like I was saying, you got to take care of you first before you take care of everybody else. So you going to work and you working all those crazy hours, but yet you going in there with an empty cup. it it don't work. And it's, you know, I think especially for Black women, it's just something that we get used to doing, because in our communities, when let's be real, not just in our communities, but um just us compared to other cultures, everyone seems to lean on Black women. Everybody leans on Black women. And in some way, shape, or form, they look for our guidance, look for, look for us to be there or show up in some sort of way. Um, and to boil it, to bring it closer to home, our families depend on the women so much. I mean, you think about growing up, we had our grandmas, we had our madias, our big mamas, right? We went to them for everything, right? Everything. When you sick, go see Big Mama. You need some money, go see Big Mama. You need some prayer, go see Big Mama. Go see Grandma. You know, so women are the cornerstones, especially Black women. Black women are the cornerstones of society, of Black culture, of who we are as people. And we, as Black women, we need to take care of ourselves. And that's why I'm proud of those who take self-care seriously, and I'm proud of those who have serious boundaries when it comes to themselves. Because as long as you keep giving, people will keep taking. As long as you keep giving, people will keep taking. And not all of them are taken for the right reasons. Some people are hoarders of love, and hoarders of attention, and hoarders of, they just want your money, or hoarders of whatever. Some people just take because that's all they know how to do, is to be a taker and not give back. So please, if you're in a situation like that, you got to figure out those boundaries, right? We got to figure out those boundaries, and it's okay to say no. And you don't always have to have a reason. Honestly, the reason of just because I don't feel like it is good enough. We've been conditioned to we've been conditioned to always having to explain ourselves, right? Well, why don't you want to do it? I just don't feel like it. I mean, well, that's not a good enough reason. I mean, what's the problem? No, the reason is I just don't feel like doing it. I don't want to go. I don't want to be there. I just don't want to. I would rather stay at home in bed, or I would rather do something on my own, or I just don't. I don't feel like it, honestly, is a good enough reason. Saying no, the word no is a sentence. Can you? No. Me, I don't have a problem saying no. You ask my wife, I don't have a problem saying no. I have a problem saying no to her, but to other people, I don't have a problem saying no, especially if I see if it's going to, um, if it's allowing somebody to cross a boundary, right? If it's allowing somebody to cross a boundary that I've already set up, then it's an easy no for me. It's an easy no for me. But we've got to be careful, right? And you got to create these boundaries. You really do. And you can't feel bad for creating boundaries. Anybody that doesn't understand your boundary or doesn't respect your boundary, they don't even necessarily have to understand it, but they just need to respect it. They just need to respect the fact that I have a boundary here, and I don't need you crossing it. Give me my space. Give me my time. I don't have to go out with you every weekend, right? If I say no, I don't feel like it this weekend. This weekend, I just want to chill at home. Okay, cool, girl. Well, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your Netflix and wine, whatever you want to do. Enjoy your Netflix and hookah, whatever you want to do. Get you some rest, girl. That's what we should support. We don't always have to go out every weekend. We don't always have to be around each other every weekend. You do have people who thrive in those type of environments, and that's for them. But not everybody is like that. I know I have um a social battery, And I could be out in public. If my social battery is depleted, it's almost like a phone dying. Once that phone died, once that battery reaches zero, first it give you a warning. First, I give you a warning. I might walk away for a second. I might be with a crowd of people, and my social battery will go down to, like, I don't know, let's say 10%. Right? Maybe we'll start with 15% because most phones start at, like, I think 15%. Even 15%, my conversation starts to slow down. I might get up and walk outside for a breather, or, walk away from the group for a minute, right? Then I come back in. I'm trying to get back into it, but I've gotten to the point now, but sometimes I don't even, not sometimes, I don't even force it. I can't force it. I don't have the ability to be fake. And I think that's a blessing for me. I've never had the ability to be fake. You can ask my friends. I am who I am. It is what it is. But that social battery, once that social battery gets completed, my wife can tell immediately. She will look at me and she'll be like, "You ready to go?" And I'm like, "Yes." Even to the point where I'd be like, I mean, if you want to stay, I'll leave and I'll come back and pick you up. I just need to get out of here. I remember we went to a recently, within the last month, we went to one of her friends' birthday parties. And it was just so much going on. And we had been with hanging out since earlier that day. We went to brunch with some friends. We went shopping with some friends. And then one of our buddies came back to the house with us. We went ahead, changed our clothes, got ready to go to this birthday party, went to the birthday party. By the time we got to the birthday party, after having been out all day and kicked it all day with people, I was so overwhelmed when we got to that party. It was so many people walking around, lights were flashing, people was yelling and screaming. Um, the music was blaring loud, and I was just so uncomfortable. And I was overstimulated. And I told my wife, I saw a patio on the back, and I told my wife, I was like, I'm getting ready to go out there and sit for a second. I need to breathe because I felt like the walls were closing in on me. So I went outside, sat outside for a minute, collected myself, got myself together. And she came out there and checked on me. She was like, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." I was like, "I'm just overstimulated." And then we went back inside and continued our night, and I was good. So that's how I am, right? And when my battery gets to zero, I'm done. I have no conversation for you at all. Like, it goes from yeah to cool to okay to mm-hmm. And I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it. Like, I mean, everything. Like, my facial expressions change. Like, all the joy that I might have had earlier in that day when I first got there is gone. Once the social battery is dead, I'm quiet. I'm ready to go. I'm like, all right, I'm out. Right. And I try to do my best not to allow my social battery to go down while I'm out and about. So I give myself time when I know I have outings to go through, like go to, like, for example, I'm supposed to be meeting up with somebody this weekend. So I know my first part of the day, it's just gonna be about probably doing stuff around the house or just kicking it and relaxing it at home. That way, later on that evening when I go out, I have a fully energized battery and I'll be able to entertain and talk and and do all that. So that's how I work it, right? That's how I make sure I'm good, and that's how I make sure I'm able to give back to people. So you have to, guys. You have to. I'm getting ready to end this, but you have to make sure that you are taking care of yourselves first, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Okay? Sometimes we give so much to the point that we give and then end up having the short end of the stick. It's okay to give people money, it's okay to help them out, but to your own detriment, no. When you give to your own detriment, that's that's not good giving, right? That's not good giving. So when you give with a cheerful heart, but also don't give at your own detriment. Sometimes giving a shirt off your back isn't the best thing, right? So we have to be wise and have discernment in certain situations, because also you have to think about it. And it's not, because every relationship needs to be reciprocal. It really does. All relationships that you have, whether they be personal, whether they be work, um, relationships, or whether they be, your friendships, all relationships should be reciprocal. You give something, they give something. You take something, they take something, right? We're supposed to be helping each other replenish and give and take and give and take and give and take. And some people, I understand, they're like, well, I don't give to give back. I don't give to give back. I understand that. You don't give to give back. I understand that. But if you wind up in a relationship where all you're doing is the giving, that's a bit one-sided. That's way one-sided. And you need to figure out, okay, is this a toxic relationship? What's going on here? Or why are they not giving back? Do they not understand? You know, and like I said, it's not about, hey man, I gave you something, so you better give me back. It's not that. It's just that our relationships are supposed to be reciprocal. If you look at um the relationship with God, right? Just talking real basic here. The saying we grew up, a saying that we grew up saying in the church is, when the blessings go up, when the praises go up, when the praises go up, the blessings come down. That's a reciprocal relationship. We're giving God something, in turn, He's giving us something, right? You giving your friend something, they giving you back something. You give your friend love, they give you back love. You give them, could be confidentiality, they give you the same, right? You don't go to them and they come to you and tell you all their business, tell you everything that's going on and happening to them, and they got boyfriend or girlfriend issues or husband and wife issues. But then anytime you got something going on, you don't have anybody to talk to, because none of them are available for you. None of your friends are available for you. That's an issue. That's a problem, right? So when I say reciprocal, things should be even. Things should be even. Okay. Every once in a while, there's going to be, you know, the relationship situation might not be 50-50 all the time. And I don't believe in the whole 50-50 thing. It should be 100-100. If I'm going to give you my all, you got to give me your all. And I'm going to meet you where I need to meet you. If you're giving me 70, I'm going to give you 70. If you're giving me 30, I'm going to give you 30. It shouldn't be 70-30, 60-40, or the other way around, or 100-0, right? It's not even on the screen, right? It should be 100-100, right? 70-70, 30-30. If it's 0-0 off the screen, it's 0-0. But people need to meet you where you're at, and you need to meet people where they're at. All right. So look, I love y'all. Please take care of yourselves. Okay? Please take care of yourselves. Self-care is important, my loves. Family, self-care is important. Put you first. There's nothing wrong with putting you first. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself, and don't feel bad for it. All right? If you feel bad for taking care of yourself, have a little talk with Jesus, as they say. Right? Look up some research on it. Get in the Bible. Read some scriptures about taking care of yourself. Right? I'm pretty sure God don't want you out here bad like that. You just giving, giving, giving. He blessing you, blessing you, blessing you. You giving, giving out. You casting your pearls among swine. That's in the Bible. Okay. So do your own research. Figure it out. Figure it out. But self-care is important. Please, my loves, take care of yourself. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in and hearing me talking about a podcast that actually wasn't supposed to happen, but ended up happening anyway. And again, I might actually take a break next week and not post. I might actually take a break next week and just not post, and then I'll post the week after. So what we talking about, the 23rd. So I probably won't post on Wednesday the 23rd, and I'll probably come back to you guys on Wednesday, July 30th will be the next episode, right? I got to take care of myself. I got to make sure I'm good. Look, y'all make sure you do the same thing. I love you so much again. As always, remember, your crown may be tilted, but never ever let it fall. Peace and love.